mixing bowl 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Combine with that 1 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour. And you can just mix that up a little bit with the dough hook. The mixer's fitted with a dough hook, which incorporates all the ingredients very nicely. Now add to a 1/2 cup of warm water, 1/2 of an envelope of yeast. You can use quick rising, you can use fresh yeast, or this active dry yeast. So let that bubble up a little bit. 1/2 teaspoon of salt goes in our bowl. 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of toasted wheat germ. And mix that up a little bit. I'm going to add my butter, 2 tablespoons of melted butter to the yeast, and 1 egg. So this can get all mixed in the bowl. Prepare a large bowl with butter, just butter the whole inside, and just mix until the dough is elastic and smooth, and that takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And this dough is almost ready. It's starting to pull away from the sides of the bowl, which is what you want. This first rise, which is fermentation, usually takes about 1 to 1.5 hours. And it's important to keep the dough warm in a draft-free place while it rises, or it will take much, much longer. So just put this in the bottom of the bowl and cover it with a sheet of plastic. Warm place. Let it rise 1 to 1.5 hours. We have, miraculously, a bowl of risen dough right here. It has doubled in bulk. This is what we're going to form our beautiful sticky buns with. So now this is what makes the sticky buns sticky. 1 stick of room temperature butter, 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. Mix that together with a pinch of salt, or about 1/2 teaspoon actually, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I have searched all over the place for sticky buns. I know who makes the stickiest, I know who makes the tastiest, and these are really up there. And because they're made with whole wheat flour, they're just a little bit better for you than the normal all-purpose white flour ones. Now you're going to take 1/2 of this and smear it into the bottom of your buttered baking dish, which is a 9-inch cake pan. And put a little coating of this all over the bottom. Do this before you form your sticky buns. This is what's going to make that sticky coating all over the tops of the sticky buns, which are really the bottoms during the baking process. And sprinkle 1/4 of a cup of pecans all over this. Chopped and toasted pecans. Okay, let that sit. Now roll out your dough. Put it on a floured surface. Roll your dough into a rectangle about 10 by 14 inches. Now take the rest of your schmear and put it all over this surface. So just lightly spread this. I'm leaving 1/4 of an inch right here. That will be our outer edge. The smearing is done. And the last little bit of pecan sprinkled all over as evenly as possible. And then roll this so you have a nice loaf, and you cut this into 10 rolls. And now into our pan, place your buns. So 7 around the perimeter and 3 in the center. Now this gets covered with a piece of plastic wrap, and let this dough rise until the buns are just touching. It takes about an hour. The second rise is called the proofing. And here we have our swap. You can see that they are touching. They actually look a lot like sticky buns. Transfer these to a 350-degree preheated oven and bake until the buns are golden brown and the topping is bubbling around the sides of the pan, about 25 minutes. The topping is in the bottom, remember that. So here are sticky buns right out of the oven. It's important to let them sit just for a minute or two and then release them from the pan. And if you want to turn them out onto something, invert the something onto the pan and lift up. Want to see? Look how beautiful that is. These are spectacular, and your friends will never believe that you made them yourself. You could offer the whole thing at a bake sale, or you could break them up and offer them individually. The healthy but still extremely delicious version of a very, very good sticky bun.